It seems like it's been ages, but we got a patch for Hearthstone, including Battlegrounds updates. As you saw in the title and thumbnail, it's a pretty significant one, so let's take a look. Seems like most of these are standard changes, like actually a lot, but here we are into the Battlegrounds updates. First of all, quest reward updates. Kidnap Sec quest reward has been made harder to earn. Kidnap Sec has been a really strong one. Is the one where you basically get a card for free every turn, and I think it took a while for them to actually make it harder. Hidden Treasure Vault, which is the one that increases by 1 gold every single turn, and Teal Tiger Sapphire, which is the tempo quest where if you roll you get +1/+1 in the shop. They have been made easier to earn. Makes sense. Hidden Treasure Vault, I don't know how good it is. It used to be okay, I think. Make it easier to earn. Will be interesting, because I think if you can complete this in the same turn as you get it, it's going to be really good. Because again, the earlier you get Treasure Vault online, the earlier the gold starts stacking up, which is very relevant if you're going, you know, for the long game. It's a lot of gold that you will have extra during the entire game if you just get it, let's say, on turn 4, the turn that you pick this quest, or turn 5. So that's going to be, I think, the most significant change here. While Teal Tiger Sapphire, the tempo quest, it's kind of whatever. I think making it easier still doesn't make it good. Maybe in a demon lobby, you know, with Felbat, it's still okay-ish. That's still a strategy. In a mech lobby, you could still get some stats out of it as well. Maybe it gets picked more now. Another really interesting one is the Partner in Crime quest, which is the one that gives you your buddy, the buddy from the hero, from, you know, when buddies wear a thing, will now appear a lot more frequently. There's a couple other ones, but Partner in Crime, in case you don't know, I think it was a 1% odds to get it. Also, if the lobby has only heroes that are, or that had a buddy, while there's a lot of new heroes that get released, like the new one from, you know, last patch, the robot guy, I forgot the name, in Hanzo Mikano. They don't have a buddy, since they were not around in the buddy meta, so it's already really hard to get the correct lobby. And then it's on top of that a 1% to get this. I think I got to play it 3 times. I was pretty lucky. If you haven't seen that, I'll leave a video in the top right and also at the end of this video. But yeah, this is pretty significant. So hopefully some more people get to play with this crazy 1% quest now. I don't know. It says will appear more frequently. We don't know what that means. Is this 5%? Is this 10%? We don't have any exact numbers. So maybe it just went up to 2% and it's not going to make too big of a difference, but hey, at least they finally did this. Now, Pilfered Lamps is the one where you need to only collect 2 cards to triple something. Making that appear more frequently is a little bit scary, because that could snowball. It's still a hard quest, so it's not been made easier to earn, so I'm not sure if you will see it a whole lot more, but it will appear a lot more. Same with Wondrous Wisdom Ball, which is the most fun quest to pick, honestly, and to play. It's a bit RNG heavy. Sometimes you get really lucky and it's really broken. Sometimes it's just really bad. But I'd love to play this a bit more, so good to see this. And Yogtastic Tasties, which is just the Yog wheel that you spin every turn. A lot of RNG. I'm not a big fan of it, but I heard a lot of people enjoyed it. So it seems like they're making all of the fun quests that aren't super broken, but like have a lot of potential, appear more frequently towards this end of the season, which I'm happy to see. Yeah, there is a dev comment here. As we approach the end of the season, we want all players to have a chance to experience some of the rare quests they may or may not have been able to find. Alright, now Minion updates, but before that, let's talk about the sponsor. A quick break to tell you about the deck tracker that I've been using in all of my videos, and also the sponsor of this video, Firestone. Firestone is completely free, and it does basically anything that you want it to do for Battlegrounds. From the normal stuff like seeing win percentages, tracking your opponent's boards, seeing what is in the lobby when it comes to tribes, being able to reposition your boards, re-simulate each fight from a previous battle so you can see all of your previous games and just completely overanalyze them. It tracks like how your performance is over a while. You can see, well, hero tier lists. You can see how your performance is on average with every hero. Please check out the link in the description if you want to try it out. I highly recommend it. Now, onto the video. First one is Toxfin, and this one is gonna blow you away. It went from Tavern Tier 4 to Tavern Tier 6. That is insane. We have a 1/2 Murloc now on Tavern Tier 6. This is just insane to look at. I don't know what to think of it, honestly. So Poison is going to be a lot harder to earn. We still have Manted Queen on 6, which is just better, right, than poisoning a Murloc. So you actually rather triple into Queen than triple into Toxfin. You also have Leroy's, which are just better, so I don't know if this will see a lot of play. We also have the other 6-drop Murloc still on tier 6, which is the Murkai. I forgot the full name, but if you have that one together with Toxfin, you can still poison an entire board because you put it next to it. It's going to trigger the battle cry at the end of turn, but still, seeing this on 6. I don't know if people want to level for that. I think we're moving into a completely different meta now, because the biggest complaint again is a lot of poison and non-Murloc lobbies. There's a lot of variety, a lot of different things you can play. So I hope this will change up the game a lot. I don't know if this will ever see much play, honestly. The thing is, if someone is able to level to tier 6 freely, and then you go Murlocs, you can still, you know, get as many toxins as you want. You played Murlocs the same way as before. But again, leveling to 6 just for that payoff seems underwhelming. The strong suit of Murlocs right now was just the fact that you could stay down, gather a lot of stats with honchos and a lot of health, and then just poison your entire board on tier 4. You did not have to go to tier 5 or get a brand necessarily, or even go to 6 to have a board that can beat a lot of big stats. So I think it's a cool nerf. I think I'm done talking about this card. It's kind of breaking my head, but let me know what you think. Do you think this will see any play? It's going to change up the meta a lot or not? I guess we'll find out when we're going to be playing the game. I will be streaming this game tomorrow, so if you're not yet subscribed, don't forget to subscribe. I'll be live here on YouTube to, you know, see the effects of this card on the meta. We did get a dev comment, though not a power outlier at most levels. Toxin has a limiting effect on what playstyles feel viable in Murloc lobbies. We are pushing Toxin up to tier 6 as a way to open up some space for more diverse strategies. Now, minion pool updates. Mechanotank and Interrogator Whitemane have both been removed from the pool. So Mechanotank was a really good mech on tier 4 for tempo. They were not really an endgame build, you don't win with this, but it was just something, if you triple into it, you're strong. You can kind of set up a tokenish board or a bunch of reborns and death rattles that can often help as well with completing quests. So Mechanotank was kind of hand in hand with a lot of quests where you need to summon stuff or have things die. So seeing that removed will be interesting. I think it's not going to change the game too much because again, it doesn't win any games, but it makes tier 4 a little bit less tempo heavy. They also removed Whitemane, which was the new tech card on tier 5 that gives something taunt and make it take double damage essentially. A lot of people were complaining about this card at first, but turns out it's not being played that much. And I think the main reason it's not being played that much is because everyone is playing Murlocs or big stats, and against that it's not as useful as just any other tech piece like a Leroy or a Poison or whatever. I think the most toxic part about this was that it completely killed Leapers. Like Leapfrogger combs are not really playable anymore because Whitemane can instantly destroy whatever you have going because you can counter a Baron now easily. Well, previously you could play around the Zap somewhat, you can play around certain things, you can still beat Leapfroggers, but this was just sometimes, you know, it's something you can't deal with. If you're playing mechs as well, like Omega Buster comp on tier 6, they can just put it in the back and they can counter your Baron again, your Kangors, a lot of combo comps, even beasts like just with Goldrin, or even a Scallywag comp with, you know, Eliza, Khadgar, Baron. All those combo comps were kind of dead because of this, or not dead, they were just harder to pull off in the end game because, well, it exists. So maybe we get to see those again, although most of those combo comps are pretty toxic. Maybe it was better to, you know, have them not be in the game, but then again, why are those cards in the game, right? There's a bunch of cards that just don't see play because of the Whitemane. So we're gonna see all those combo comps come back or be more frequent, like it or not. It should change up the game quite a bit. There's some returning minions as well. First one is Witchwing Nest Matron, which is the 4-drop with Avenge Free, give you a Battle Cry card. I really liked it, so I'm happy to see it back. It's a lot of value. It could be Battle Cries if you have a brand. It's a nice triple. I think it's a good value card where you have to trade off a lot of tempo on the board to actually get cards. So happy to see that come in the place of Mechanotank. We also get the Ag back, so we now have the Ag back on tier 4, which I don't think is that big of a deal. It's a nice tempo card again. And what I'm most happy about is Mythrax the Unraveler being back. Mythrax is the Menagerie piece, the 4/4 neutral on tier 5 that gets +2/+2, I think, or +1/+2 for every other tribe that you have on the board. So it's a nice leeway into Menagerie. It was often considered better than Lightfang because it doesn't matter how bad your board is, you can just slap a Mythrax on it, build one big boy, and very often it can stay until the end game. It's a very nice card that, you know, is just a big heavy hitter. I'm happy to see my boy back in the game, and I'm pretty sure he'll see a lot of play, especially with Poison being harder to find. Mythrax will be harder to deal with. And then Seafood Slinger I think is interesting. Like, this card there was a lot of complaining about because if you're a Janus, for example, and triple into this, you can triple every single turn. Being able to golden Murlocs as well is kind of, you know, questionable. But again, with Toxfin on 6, I don't know. We now have 3 Murloc 6-drops on 6. The Toxfin, the Murkai, and Seafood Slinger. But the current Murlocs don't actually need Seafood Slinger, because current Murlocs, again, just build like decent stats with a brand, a bunch of health, and poison. But now the playstyle is probably going to shift from more of a poisonous board to more stats. So I think Seafood Slinger is back in the game for that reason, that you're able to find brand, you're able to golden a lookout or any battle cries, and that way get another 6. Maybe that way chain Toxfins. Okay, I can see it. This covers you another 6 higher chance of finding Toxfin and get the whole thing going. Actually, I'm a bit scared. Now that I think about it, this might still be as toxic as it used to be, and maybe even more, because now this is the main way that you can chain those Battlecry Murlocs and get those Toxfins online. Or the other 6-drop Murloc. I can also golden a ball. Oh, I think that's the coolest thing probably about this card. You can golden a ball and then you double the stats essentially. Because if you don't know, the ball of minions, if you sell it, the stats just go into a different card. If it's golden and you sell it, the stats go into 2 different cards. So by goldening it, you're essentially doubling the stats that you're gonna get off your ball. Alright, I like that. The only issue is that you're not gonna discover a 6-drop then, because you're golden something on the board instead of in the shop. But that seems to be it for Battlegrounds. Like I mentioned, I will be live here on YouTube tomorrow, hopefully. I'm also gonna do some more Twitch streams to check out what the meta is like. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this little breakdown. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. All that juicy stuff. And I'll catch you in the next one.